So we have the evil genius himself, Mr. Eazi, in the building. How you doing, my man?
Wow, that's true. It's raining in November.
It's crazy, bro.
Nigeria don't return London.
Yeah, that's their bipolar weather. I hate going there, man.
But I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank God.
I was talking to someone the other day, and I was like, if I had the opportunity of A&Ring your album, there was no way you're not going to sample. I don't know if you remember the Evil Genius song from Nollywood. Is an evil genius. Love to see people cry. Love to see people. Oh, see them. Yeah.
He's an evil genius.
Yeah. I was like, it was by Stan Okorie. And when I first heard,
missed that one.
I know when I first heard that you were dropping the album, in my mind I was just like, I'm sure he sampled that. Then I listened to the entire thing and I'm like, how did he miss it?
Yeah.
And he did like a remake of the song and uploaded it on YouTube.
Oh,
so I'm sure he will have been so open to you actually just doing that sample or something. But another thing you could do, you can license it, maybe doing your shows or anything. You could just have that there. And make sure you shout out to me. Say shout out to my boy Osi for this very amazing advice.
Straight.
Talking about advice, man. You've been on a roll since I'd say since like last year. You seem to have found your rhythm. You seem to have found your sound again. Because all the songs from the song that went viral in that Ghana market, like Ppek. From Ppek, you were just on a roll. So and sometimes a lot of people say for artists or for creatives that you make your best music when you're in a very fantastic headspace. So is that the same for you though?
All the songs you heard from Ppek was after the album.
Okay, for real?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I actually recorded Ppek on the day I went to shoot the last song on the album. So the last song on the album is Exit featuring Soweto Gospel Choir.
I love that song.
So I went to South Africa to shoot that video. I'd shot the video for 2 days, and on my last night in Johannesburg, I went to the studio to re-record Panadol. But when I was re-recording Panadol, it just didn't have the same feeling as the one take. What you hear on Panadol is the first take. It didn't have the same feeling. So I'm about to leave and the DJ says, the producer says, have you tried Amapiano? I'm like, no, I don't want to do Amapiano. And he said, okay, and I was just joking with him. I called Joey B and I was like, if I were a rapper, I would have been going any money where I get at a flex. And that's how we co-wrote Ppek, and from there it just continued. And a lot of people think, oh, that was a new sound, Mr. Eazi. No, that's what I've been doing on songs like Aquaba. I've been doing it on songs like Gangin' and Bangin'. Like I've been doing that whole monotonous talking inspired by Dr. Alban. So after I made the album, I went into party mode. I partied the most in the last maybe 1 year. Was the most partying I've done in my life. And so I made all those songs, went to South Africa.
So do you feel any type of way with that name, the Evil Genius, though?
No, because it's for what it's meant.
Which is?
Do you understand? I saw a tweet of somebody like coming up to say, thus says the Lord, blah, blah, blah. Say, Baba, if God will show you this, he no show you COVID. Now Mr. Eazi Matai, they show you. Come on for there. So the Evil Genius is all about, accepting your truth.
Okay.
And in the sense that you know how they say you can't shame someone who is shameless.
Yeah.
If I'm already naked, you can't naked me. You feel me? And I think every one of us gets obsessed, and especially if you are in the career of music, of fame, of being a celebrity, where you have to maintain this image. But this image is not you. So you get obsessed with that image, and the whole idea behind the Evil Genius is accepting. I ask myself, what's the worst thing I'd heard about myself? If somebody say, oh, Eazi is an evil genius, but is that the truth? Who am I? And then I introspect to start to look and describe myself on the songs on the album. So I speak from track 1 where I'm talking about faith and I'm talking about family, and I to track 16 where I'm talking about Thanksgiving, to the middle point where I talk about my relationship, to where I talk about loneliness. I'm describing myself. So it's really a moniker, and because it's a moniker, it doesn't affect me.
All right, so something about you that I've noticed since the first time you stepped on the scene, from Skin Tight, all the way now, you've always had a different perspective as regards, how to do music and how you actually approached music. So I remember, that first, was it 2015? You did a landmark, that your first concert.
2016.
2016. I remember I was dating a girl at the time, and we got tickets, and it was one of those Decembers where there were shows back to back. So I was like, you know what, you're a huge Mr. Eazi fan, go for the show. And she came back, saying, oh yeah, all sorts. Oh, she had so much fun and all that, blah blah. And fast forward right now, you're selling out arenas all around the world, and the conversation is going on right now has become how the Americanization of Afrobeats, where there's a lot of money that's pouring in. You understand? Everything is becoming dollarized right now, from marketing budgets to sign-on fees to everything. So right now, the people who actually love the artist and stream the music, form the core of the fan base. It's almost like they can't even get access to be at shows that these artists are even doing anymore. Why do you think, what exactly is going on?
I think from where I see it as a big opportunity. I see it as two things. One, I see that the music industry has grown from where it was back in the day. Like back in the day, you couldn't do a show without, Two-Face, D'banj, P Square. You couldn't do a show without these three people. If it wasn't these three people, then there's no show.
Yeah.
But now we've come to a place in our industry where you could do a show where a DJ headlines a 5,000 capacity event. You see DJ 6-7 does his event. And you see DJ Obi on a Monday.
On a Monday shutting it down. Yeah.
On a Monday shutting it down. And I think it just goes to show how big the industry is becoming, where you could be a hype man, you could be a DJ, you could be a C-list artist and have a proper career. So I think we should more look at the opportunity, and if it's like, we cannot afford the top 1%, what about the other 99%?
Well,
let's start having shows of having the 99% that we can afford.
I know. Yeah, but
straight up.
Yeah, but what a lot of people are actually saying right now is the way the industry is being structured. When you look at the purchasing power of the people.
Yeah.
So where normally tickets used to be 5K, 10K, 20K.
Yeah.
Then over time it started to increase or anything.
Yeah.
So come December, a lot of people used to have like a little 200K budget and say, okay, I can do like 5-6 concerts or anything. But right now, tickets are the least you can see. Entry points are like 100,000. So what I'm just trying to say right now is I love where the industry is. I love the fact that there's a lot of international attention, and the fact that we as a structure we are actually building from the ground up. But what I'm afraid of is trying as much as we can not to alienate the people who form a core of the buying public and the fan base.
But you see, I think it is impossible to alienate the people, because if you have your top 100, how many artists are on the top 100?
100 artists.
Thank you. There's 100 songs. So you cannot tell me that maybe you cannot put up a show with 5 or 6 of the artists that are on the top 100, right? Okay, so that's 5. What about the other 95? And then it will be cheaper, because the reason why everything they go high, cost of doing everything is high.
I understand.
And if you're paying an A-list artist, the price of that event is going to be higher, because production cost goes up, the price of the artist. But if you book the artist that is number 30, if you book for an artist, this is Nigeria of like 200 million people.
There's always
over 1 million artists, my brother. So if after all the 1 million artists, you have some that hit top 100 on your radio station, that means the fans love those artists. So book those artists and you will have cheaper shows, and you would even have better shows, because you see all those artists there are coming with the energy of this is my opportunity to show. So you would even have more hungry people trying to shut it down and cheaper. So we cannot. It's not possible to alienate the fans, because every day there's a new artist coming up. There's a song I heard you playing. Yeah, that's the first time I've ever heard that song.
That is by Priest, actually. I love it.
That's the first time I've ever.
And it's a jam.
And just think about this. The first time I'm hearing this song is on your radio station, on your show. And I don't even know who this person is. And I'm like, wow, this song is good. So now, why don't you do a show where you have Priest? Do you know how many people have heard him on your show? They will come and watch him because they've probably not seen him live.
Yeah,
it will be more interesting for them to see these new artists that they've not seen perform live than an artist you've been seeing
over and over again.
Over and over again.
So I also think that, as show promoters too as well, that we actually need to just redefine how we do business.
Thank you.
Understand? And like what you've rightly said, I just infuse a lot of, the B list, the C list, and, people just
even the F
line.
list.
Yeah, so everybody can have an opportunity to actually just grow a fan base too as well.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the track list of your album. It's very, very eclectic. It has Angelique Kidjo, it has Techno, it has Efia. I love the fact that, that relationship with Efia is still going on since Skin Tight as well. There's Who Is Akin, it's Joe Boy and the Soweto Gospel Choir. So amongst everybody that you put on the album, who was, which collaboration did you feel very passionate about?
Every one of them.
Okay.
Every one of them. Soweto Gospel Choir, that song was like, it was like I thought it would take me 20 years to be able to do a song with Soweto Gospel Choir.
Why?
Because like they're legendary.
Yeah. So it's a gospel choir.
I was and when I was on top of the mountain in Drakensburg shooting a video with Soweto Gospel Choir, I'm like, wow, this is like, what else do I want to do right now? So it was emotional in that sense, making that song with them. Angelique Kidjo been putting out hits before I was born. I was born in 91, and Angelique Kidjo she put out Wombolombo, and that's the song I sampled. I sampled Wombolombo on the song Orokoro with her.
Okay.
And so it was very special. And Who Is Aki and Joe Boy I think that is the most special of those collaborations, because both artists are artists that I've invested in, and they're holding their own, and they're sparring with me on those records. On Zuzu Lakate, Joe Boy just took the song and just did, like, his verse was longer than my verse. He just took the song from me. He finished me on that song.
I know.
On Show Them, Who Is Akin's verse is the best verse on that record. So those 4 collaborations to me, and the last collaboration on the album is the first song, which has my mom on the intro of Oluwajo.
Okay.
Obviously, so I'd say that's the most special collaboration I have. The track 1 with my mom, Oluwajo.
Okay, that's amazing. That's nice. So one I want to say is, you really taught you're always about the music. You're always about the ecosystem and the infrastructure. And I think from time to time you talk about your personal life, anything. So I just want to ask right now: are you married? No.
If you go online, on YouTube, and search the song Legalize, check the music video, you see the answer to that question.
For real?
Yeah.
Congratulations,
just watch it. Just watch it.
I've seen the video.
I've not said yes. I've not said no.
No. When you say legalize, so
I've just said you should go check it in there. Go check it in there.
So being married, right now, does it is there any pressures that come with it? Because a lot of what's it called right now, a lot of young people that want to, long-term relationships, I want to get married, they think that it comes with like an extra pressure. Do you think it does?
Belly, did I say I was?
No. I'm just asking.
Generally,
yes.
I think generally speaking, I think it just depends on your relationship.
Yeah.
There's every relationship has its rules, has its boundaries, has its peculiarities.
Yeah.
So it depends on what you want. My dad used to say, don't how you start is how you finish.
Yeah.
So if you start in a way, like you can't just knee jerk change it after some time. So I just think it goes down to just knowing what you want, and it's easier said than done. Because there will be limitations. There will be compromises. But it just depends on how you start and how you talk about it.
Okay, cool. But what has been in a long-term relationship? What has that taught you though? What's like the biggest lesson from all of that?
There's a part of the album that it starts from Jamboree and it ends with Legalize.
Yeah,
on
so
the
that's
album.
Jamboree, Good Loving, Lack of communication, Fefenefe.
Yeah,
then it goes to Legalize.
Yeah. So in those parts, that's where I'm speaking about my relationship. So everything there is like a real life, my relationship. And and to your question is like that's like 5 years of relationship in there, because it starts from Jamboree, which is like honeymoon
phase.
And your honeymoon phase might be 1 week or 1 month, or it go shock you. See, your honeymoon phase can even be 4 years.
I know.
You could have 4 years of honeymoon phase where it's just butterflies, it's all holidays, so until real life then hits you and you start having real life. So I go from there to I go to lack of communication, where I'm saying, where I'm talking about my relationship and saying a lot of times the issues what we have is lack of communication, because maybe I'm not saying what is on my mind, or she's not saying
what's on her
what's on,
mind
or
as well.
she likes to say what's on her mind. But me,
just,
you know,
just keep
some
it
of
in.
some of us guys, we just love to just
Keep it in.
and then we explode all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's honeymoon phase, is lack of communication,
Mm-hmm.
is, you know, fair where I talk about being present.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you feel, and growing up, I think I was mistaking being present financially for being present physically. You know, because my dad had to hustle to put food on the table. He was never around.
Yeah.
And I'd see my uncles who were hugely successful and never around. So for me, I didn't think they were not around, because their families, my family, my dad always made sure we're going to the best schools, etc. My families, seeing their families, my uncle's families, seeing them not being around, but seeing the families being taken care of. I used to feel, as long as you are financially present,
That's all that matters.
that's all. But coming into my relationship and realizing that physical presence is something, and even battling with that's what I speak on Fair and Fair. I say, now because I do you wrong, I sing this song, I go sing you some more, because I never had the time that you really want. Now I'll give you more. And I say it again. So I speak about being present twice on the album. On Good Loving with Afia, I'm like, girl, she says she wants my time and affection. That's what she wants, you know. So it's learning how to communicate, learning someone else's love language. There's no problem in your love language being credit a lot.
I know.
I think my love language is credit a lot. You feel me?
Yeah.
But learning someone's love language, learning communication, learning how to apologize.
Yeah.
You know, and learning how to take those next steps in relationships. It could be getting engaged, it could be getting married, it could be
anything.
getting a new house, it could be moving, you know, and that's what goes through. That's what describes the last 5 years of my personal.
So it's been 5 years. Like that relationship.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. That's amazing. And at the same time, you know, putting out music and being in the public eye. So I think you've done a pretty good job of just balancing you know, the entire thing. So right now that you've dropped the album, you know, Evil Genius, what are we to expect? We see all the great things that you're doing with Empower, and every time I listen to Joe Boy, I always mutter, you know, under my breath, thank God for Mr. Eazi, because without Mr. Eazi, he wouldn't have. I don't know where Joe Boy's trajectory will have gone to, but you know, you gave him that platform too as well, and you know, a bunch of other you know, amazing artists. Is Mint, as is that new song that I'm also playing right now. Absolutely love it, and I could just keep going on and on as regards, you know, everybody that has come under a fave as well. You know, under that
Major
Empowered
League DJs.
I could just keep
King
going
Promise.
on. Everybody, man. So for you, what's next? It seems like you've conquered everything, and I found something one day. There was a time I was feeling stuck, where growing up, all I just wanted to do was to be on the radio. When I figured out what I wanted to do, and I, you know, furiously chased that challenge. So there's one day that I was like, I've literally just done everything. Then I was talking to my mother, and you know, guess what she said? She says, why human beings get stuck is because they don't have the ability to dream new dreams. And that hit me.
That's
and
deep.
And she says, okay, you've done radio before. What says you can't be a cobbler? You can't do something else. So you must always constantly say, okay, since I've done this, I should shift left. I can do anything else. So it's always just stuck, you know, at the back of my mind that as human beings, we should always have the ability to dream new dreams. So for you though, well, what should we expect?
I think what you just described is growth. You know, people want you to stay the same, but they themselves don't stay the same.
True.
Every day we, you know, to a point from when we are born, we start growing and then we start dying. Like it's just the natural order. It's impossible to stay the same. And for me, that's, you know, growth and being the freedom to move, you know, the freedom to stop, the freedom to pause, the freedom to say, you know what, Amapiano is hot. I've done this Amapiano thing. Now I want to make an album that doesn't sound like anything that's on radio, before, you know, or anything that I've done before. And the focus now is just, you know, this album has music and the art element. The art is the B-side of the album. And for me, I'm exploring my newfound relationship with art and mixing the music and the art. So
together.
We've done the Accra exhibition. We've done music and art exhibition in Accra, music and art exhibition in London. It's coming to Lagos in December. It's going to Marrakesh. It's going to New York. It's going to Dubai. So I'm touring, but not the normal tour you'd expect an artist to do.
Yeah.
I'm touring my album and the art across 5 countries, and I will be promoting the album till May, and so we're gonna be
You're just doing stuff,
doing that. So that's the focus from now to May, really. Just educating people about the album, and on the side, I'm gonna be doing like what I did with Willard the other day, which is talking across Africa about music publishing, music royalties, just education.
Okay, cool.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, though. Like I said, everything with you has always been different. The way you actually just come on the scene and actually just do your thing. So I'll be looking forward to that, especially the one in Marrakesh. Maybe I'll use that opportunity to actually visit Morocco.
Straight up.
Never been there before, so yeah. So either ways, though, my favorite song off the album is Advice. I love that song because I like it when an artist dips into themselves and actually just create something. And because I grew up listening to a lot of foreign musicians, so when I heard Mirrors by Justin Timberlake for the first time, it was the first time I was listening to like a 7-8 minute song. So when I first saw the song, I was like, okay, what is he trying to do here? And you listen to the entire thing and you don't even know 7 minutes is gone. You understand. And when you listen to Holy Grail with Jay-Z, and there's that long verse at the beginning. So I love it when artists just push the envelope and just try to just recreate every time, not what you're used to, but when you just hear it, it takes you to like a different plane. So with Advice, that's what that did for me, though. Because first time I had to go tweet about it, and I was like, this Mr. Eazi I'm hearing right now, it just blew me away. So that's my favorite song off the album. So what's your favorite song off the album?
I think it changes.
Oh, that's the thing,
That's the thing. It changes. Right now, my favorite song is We Day.
Okay.
Actually, it's Notorious. It's Notorious. Right now, it's Notorious. I was watching. There's performance videos online, and I was watching like the energy I bounce with on Notorious. It has the usual guitar. I love hearing all my songs, but the bounce
it's different.
It's different. And the way I've been notorious. And so I think it captures where my mind is, but not as deep and grimy as Advice. More bubbly. On We Day or Notorious. So Notorious is my favorite song right now on the album. Okay,
cool. So we'll keep updating our playlist as we go on. Anyways, thank you so much. I think every time I have a conversation with you is never about we talk about the music, we talk about the industry, we talk about everything that's going on, but it's almost like a deep dive into just different things as regards us being human beings and constantly having to just create and just just living for an essence, living for a legacy of some sort. So like I say this every time, I'm proud of everything you've been able to achieve. I'm proud of how far you've gotten. And when I cast my mind back to 2015 when we started playing Skin Tight first time on the radio, you had the straw hats, shooting that video. Where you are right now is as a result of the quality of your talent and the how you apply your mind into anything that you want to do. So I wish a lot of artists too would be able to think and just do things the way you do, but everybody's different. But all I would just say right now is I'm proud, and I'm also thankful for also being part of the journey too.
Thank you very much, man. Always a pleasure.
Every time. So I'm about to play my favorite song off the album. It's called Advice. 9:57. Shouts to Belly. Belly's somewhere in the back right now, just chilling, pressing his phone, and all of that. So also when you do that, the music and art exhibition in Lagos, please let us know. We'll come through, and just
December, we'll let you know the dates.
Drink some nice whiskey, look at some nice art. And just do something. It's the Beat 99.9 FM 9:57. Yes, Mr. Eazi. It's called Advice. The album is out everywhere. It's called Evil Genius. So make sure you just go out there, just stream. And like I always say on the radio, let's try as much as we can to just keep putting money back in the pockets of these creatives so they can keep making us great music right now. All right. So yes, Advice by Mr. Eazi, 9:58. Don't you dare touch that dial.